difficulties that we have as a ministry.
Good morning, good afternoon, depending on what part of the world you're in. In the UK, we're at 3 p.m. And where you're from in the Caribbean, it may be 10 or just after. We want to thank you for coming and joining us on YouTube and on Zoom to Let's Talk Health. Our presenter today is Sister Angela Hewitt. We thank you for your patience. We thank you for your consistency. This is our fourth week in. We had a week of a 7 day challenge of challenge, and that was amazing. Well done for all those who joined. I saw your lovely presentations of food. Gorgeous. And you've been learning. So today we're going to go back into resetting our hormones naturally. Sister Angela has got an amazing presentation for you. So let's sit tight. And before that, let's just have another word of prayer so that everything will run smoothly. Dear Father in heaven, we want to thank you for this new week, this new opportunity to learn more about health, learn more about the bodies, our temples that you want us to look after in a better way. We ask you to be with Sister Angela, be with all the technical issues from YouTube to Zoom to all the other things in between. I pray that your will be done and help us to stay alert and to listen and to learn so that we can participate and do the best for our bodies. This we pray in Jesus' name. Amen. May God bless you. Over to you, Sister Angela.
Amen. Thank you so much. And as I endeavor to share my screen, let me hope that you guys will be seeing it. Are you seeing my screen?
Yes, brilliant.
God is good. Thank you, everyone, for your patience. Thank you for coming on. Sister Rosetta, I see you. Sister Rosetta is awesome. We work together in ministry. When we do our medical missionary training, we work together. She's got her ministry as well, DRD Natural. So you want plant-based recipes and stuff like that. She's got her book out. In fact, more than one book. So Sister Rosetta, thank you for joining us this morning. And I can see those who participated in the Activate 7 Day Raw Food Challenge. You are here today. I'm sure you guys have experienced changes and transformations in your lives. And remember, you continue with what we started. That was just the beginning. That's not where it ends, right? You've started the changes, continue to make the changes, and may God continue to bless you as you seek to activate your health. That's what this ministry is about, activating your health, live a more healthier and fuller life. So this month, June, the month of June, we have dubbed Hormone Reset Month. And if you were with us the first week, we looked at your body's talking. Are you listening? The second week, we talked about how or hormones, the toxins and different things that hijack our hormones that impacts our health. That was our second week. Then last week we looked at cortisol and how that impact our sleep and our health on a whole. And this week now, because we're looking at hormones, so we had to look at first your body speaking. Are you listening? What is happening where hormones are concerned? And then the second week, we looked at how is your hormone impacting your health? What is causing your hormone to hijack your health? What's taking place there? And then last week, we looked at the critical issue of hormones and or sleep, the cortisol hormone, how if you're overloaded on cortisol, how that keeps you in a constant state of stress that can break down your body, resulting in health issues. Today, now, since we've been looking at hormones and all the different issues, I'm sure everybody wants to hear, well, since all of these things are taking place, how do I deal with it? How do I now reset my hormones naturally? So we're in for a ride, quite an interesting topic. So good morning, good afternoon, those in the UK. Good morning, those in Jamaica. One love Jamaica. Yes, those in other islands in the Caribbean, in the US. good morning to you, and welcome to Let's Talk Health. And we do this every Sunday morning. So remember, if you have not gotten a flyer, still turn up at the same time and invite a friend or a family member because we will be doing this every Monday morning. So, throughout this series, we have explored how the body communicates with us, the impact of stress on health, and the importance of restorative sleep. This morning, we'll bring it all together as we discuss hormone health. A lot of people mistakenly believe that when we talk about hormones, we're talking about women specifically, or it only impacts women. No, no, no. It impacts men as well as women. One of the sad realities, and something that I've come to see and know, is that women, younger women in their 30s, and if you're in the 30s or the 40s, and if you're experiencing any kind of menopausal symptoms right now, I wanted to shame the devil, just put in the chat, me, let us know if you're experiencing any hot flashes, if you're experiencing any anxiety, night sweats, whatever, just indicate in the chat if you are, because the reality is that, my sisters, at 30, 30s, 40s, you should not be, even 50s. And we have been lied to when we were told that menopause means suffering, that we need to have the anxieties, the mood swings, the hot flashes, the sweating. No, it's not normal. That is what is not normal. A woman, so remember that menopause is just transitioning, right? And it's supposed to be the time when you're living your best life. Yes, that is supposed to be the time, ladies, that you're living your best life. More than likely, you have outgrown children, they're out of the nest, they're in university, or they're on their own. This is your time. Men also experience hormonal imbalance, low testosterone levels, they get moody as well, they're just angry, they've got this big belly, and so many things. So let us correct the misconception that when we talk about hormones, we're only specifically referring to women. Okay, so we're going to bring it all together today. So many people believe that fatigue, weight gain, mood swings, poor sleep, and low energy are simply part of aging. While age can influence hormone levels, our daily choices play an enormous role in how well our hormones function. So, yes, our hormones can influence these aspects of our lives, but if we're healthy, if we're eating healthy, practicing healthy lifestyle changes, then we should not have to deal with these issues. So remember, getting into a healthier mode or transition, lifestyle changes, it's a progression. Don't aim for perfection immediately. Like when we did the 7-day Activate challenge, which we ended yesterday morning, that was just a kickstart. Don't expect to see incredible changes in just 7 days. But one sister, she testified she lost 10 pounds over 7 days. Hallelujah. Her blood sugar levels so much better. And that's what we aimed to do. I'd ask people to weigh themselves, do their measurements, and then come back and share. So after this morning's program, those who participated in the challenge over the last 7 days, the raw food challenge, I want you to open your mics and just share your experience because people need to hear. So this morning, let us understand how to support the body naturally so it can function the way God designed it to function. Let us pray as we get into our very first slide this morning. Righteous Father in heaven, thank you for the gift of life. Thank you for being so good to us. And thank you that you have sorted out the technical difficulties. We commit ourselves into your hands. And even now, I pray that you'll be with me as I present, be with each participant, and may we all seek to activate our health. For Christ's sake, I pray. Amen. All right, so let's get into it. So here we are. We're talking about hormones. Now, could your hormones be out of balance? And how would you know if your hormones are out of balance? What are you experiencing? What symptoms are you feeling in your body? And these are questions for you. How would you know? And based on what we have been talking about for the past 3 weeks, by now, you would have been getting some ideas and some suggestion as to what might be taking place. Are you constantly fatigued? Do you have difficulties losing weight? Are you dealing with the stubborn belly fat? You're finding it difficult and you're trying to lose weight, but you can't lose weight? What about brain fog, poor concentration, mood swings, anxiety? You're just easily irritable and you just can't sleep well. Are you experiencing any of these? Okay, let me see in the chat. I see people are responding in the chat. I'm going through many. Okay, me. All right. I see somebody says me. Somebody said they can't hear me, but then I'm seeing persons responding. So if they're responding, it means that some can hear me. So maybe that might be your situation. So I'm going to ask, can you hear me, guys? Just somebody confirm in the chat, please, that you can hear me. Just confirm.
Yes.
Nice. Thank you so much. And in the meanwhile, I'll ask everyone to keep themselves muted since we're recording. So, yes, thank you guys for responding to me. I'm just reading the chat. So, yes, I'm going through perimenopause. Jillian, we can definitely take care of that. I don't see it in your YouTube. Really? Oh, boy. I'm just going to check. You see why I need somebody to help me with the technical part of it because it is supposed to be on YouTube. So let me just make sure that we are live. Oh boy. Let's just double check here on Zoom. Sister Sharon, can you just check for me? You should be able to see where it's live on Zoom, on YouTube as well. If not, then I will just go ahead and start. Let's see what's taking place over there, why you guys are not seeing me. But we're supposed to be live right there on YouTube. So check for me, Sister Sharon, if you see it. Irritability, sleeping issues. Yes, so these are some of the issues that you guys will encounter. And as mentioned before, they are not normal. I'm not sure what's going on YouTube, but let me see what's happening. So I'm now trying to do the technical part while I am trying to present. So I'm going to see if it's not live over there. Okay. While Sister Sharon is checking for me, I will continue. So, yes, I see where you guys are stating that you are experiencing some of these symptoms and it's not normal. You guys should not be going through these issues at this stage, especially in your young years. As women, we should be able to pass over into menopause without any issues at all. None of these that you're talking about. But the key is balancing your hormones, which is why we're here today talking about balancing your hormones. So last week we talked about what are hormones, and they're produced by the glands through the body. These are, as we mentioned last week, they're communicating with the body. You're sending a text message to the body, basically hormones communicating, talking with each other. You're sending a text message to someone in the UK and you're typing, the message has been transmitted and the person receives. Now the receiver responds to you and there's a communication system going. That is exactly what hormones are, communicating. So chemical messengers texting each other, the brain sending a message to the gut, prepare for food. You've put some food in your mouth. The brain is saying, okay, stomach, prepare yourself for digestion. So think of them as emails or text messages being sent throughout the body. That's exactly what they are. They travel through the bloodstream. That is how they deliver the message, and they deliver whatever instructions to the cell, and they influence nearly every aspect of our lives, and they help to maintain balance in the system. So this is exactly what the hormones do. So they're telling each other, do this, do that. They're telling the cells what to do. So you eat a piece of bread, that bread is broken down, it's digested by the body, there's carbs, there's starches. That glucose that we get from that bread that we've eaten, our bodies need that for energy. If that glucose remains in your bloodstream, then you're likely to hear that you're pre-diabetic or you are diabetic. The insulin that is produced by your pancreas is also another hormone. That insulin should be able to transport that glucose from the bloodstream to the cells where we can utilize it. So if your insulin is not functioning the way that it should because you've abused your body over the years bad eating, etc., or the body's not producing enough insulin at all to help, you've got a problem with that hormone. So that message is not being sent that, hey, remove this glucose from my bloodstream into my cell. You'll end up with a disease, which is now diabetes. So you can see the communication between the hormones, the chemical messengers. I hope that one is clear. Now, the hormone regulates countless functions, including energy production, mood, sleep, digestion, reproduction, everything. This is exactly what happens. But what happens now when the hormones become imbalanced? We have a crisis. So the hormone imbalance usually results from a combination of factors, and one of the biggest one is stress. We talked about that last week as well. So when stress becomes constant, the cortisol remains elevated and begins affecting other hormones. Are you constantly on a high, can't sleep, your mind racing? When it is midnight, does it feel like midday for you? Cortisol is too high. If you're in a stressful job, stressful relationships, financial stress, all of these can just put us on this constant high where the body is not thriving, but it is in a survival mode. So we have to learn now how to manage the stress or to remove the stresses. So when we have this constant stress, then poor sleep can result. And this is another major factor impacting our hormones. Processed foods, and we cannot overemphasize processed foods and excess sugar because these contribute to our blood sugars level fluctuating up and down, and as well as insulin dysfunction. Yes, sugar is dangerous. It is a sweet poison. Fast food is dangerous. Do you notice how our children are getting bigger and bigger? Mm-hmm. The fast foods, the processed foods, the sugary drinks, or the snacks. Children do not have to eat snacks. Give them proper meals. My niece is 8, and whenever she comes, I'm not starving her, but whenever she comes to me, she gets 2 meals per day. If she's with me for the whole day, maybe late in the evening when she might say that she's hungry, she gets something very light, very, very light. And then she said to me, but Auntie, I didn't eat any dinner. I said, yes, we had dinner because I feed her at the same time that I eat. So if breakfast is at 8 or 8:30, she gets a big, healthy breakfast. And then her next meal will be at 2 or 3 o'clock. She gets water in between, no juices, no snacks, and no devices. I told her, do not take your tablet when you're coming to my house. At 2, 3 o'clock, we have our lunch or our second meal. So in the evening, she said, but Auntie, I didn't eat any dinner. I said, oh, yes, sweetheart, we had dinner. And I'll give her something very light in the evening. We can train our children. When she's at her house, she lives on snacks constantly, right throughout the day. Oh, go take a snack, go take a snack. This child, I love her dearly, but she's grossly overweight for an 8-year-old child. And it pains my heart. And I wish I could take her and live for her to live with me, but I can't because she has parents. But I embrace every opportunity I get to spend with her whenever she comes. We can train our children and train them well. They do not have to become diabetics. Now, juvenile diabetes is on the rise. Our children are suffering. Parents, what are you doing to your children? And I'm hoping that I'm really speaking to the wrong crowd right now and that your children are healthy and they're not at the risk of juvenile diabetes. I truly, truly hope so. It is an epidemic and nobody's talking about it because the food industry is all involved in this. Big pharma, all involved because your child has diabetes at 8 or 9 or 14. They recommend drugs. You have diabetes, it's drugs. And that's why the system is set up the way that it is. We eat the fast food, we get sick, and we take the drugs. There are other factors as well, such as environmental toxins. These include, and the number one, so these toxins are also found in our foods, and they are found in one of the biggest environmental killers, plastics. Yes, we use plastics for everything. You walk into these stores owned by we know who, and every single thing is made from plastic. That is killing us. Pesticides in our foods, even some personal body care products also can disrupt our hormones, which is why I stopped using commercial products. No commercial deodorants for me, no commercial lotions, none of these things go on my skin anymore. Yes, I do like to smell good just the same way. If I'm using any body mist or it goes on the clothing, and even so, that can also sweat. If you sweat, that can also seep into your pores. So we have to be careful. I make deodorants and I sell deodorants. I make and I use my own deodorants because I see the risk of breast cancer as well. Ladies, take charge of your health. Do not leave that responsibility to anybody. So all the lotions and the creams, and we want to smell good with the Victoria's Secret and the Bath and Body Works. I used to like those stuff because I want to smell good. But we have to recognize that we can still smell good with using natural products and learning to make your own or to buy natural products, which you can get from Leap to Health Wellness. So look out for these environmental toxins that we have to deal with on a daily basis. Nutrient deficiencies also can impact and affect your hormone production because the body needs vitamins and minerals to produce hormones. Yes. So if you're not eating well, if you're not producing, if the body does not have enough nutrients, this will greatly impact you also. Now, let's look at the hormone team. Now, these are just some of the major hormones that I want to talk about. And remember, as mentioned before, hormones work together like members think about a team or a band. They all must work together in sync as a team, work together so that there's harmony, there's balance. So if you're talking about a band, when one instrument is out of tune, the entire performance suffers. Mhm. So let's look at the hormones. Cortisol, this helps to manage stress. We talked about that last week. We need cortisol. If you're going across the road and a vehicle comes close towards you as if it's going to hit you, you need that cortisol because it's your fight or your flight hormone. So when you jump and you run across the road quickly, it's because of that cortisol that we need. So it helps us to manage stress, but it should not be on a constant high. That's when we're setting up ourselves for disease. Then we talk about insulin that regulates our blood sugar. Insulin, we all need insulin. It's going to take that glucose or the sugar from the bloodstream into the cells where we utilize it, or it is stored for later usage. That is why when you have diabetes and you go to the doctor, some people come back and say, the doctor said me have sugar. I'm speaking in Jamaican patois right there. The doctor said me have sugar. Or the doctors say that the person has sugar. It's just that sugar, that glucose remaining in the bloodstream where it is not supposed to stay. So what we need to do is to cleanse that bloodstream. The time of crisis is just ahead of us. My question is, are you ready? Are you healthy enough? Just as what happened, 4 or 5 years ago, when people said, well, I had to take the joke so that I can travel, I can go to school. If we're not healthy and we're in a health crisis, everyone listening to me right now, learn to reverse your diabetes, reverse high blood pressure, whether it's obesity, overweight, high cholesterol, whatever it is, cancer. Learn to reverse these issues from today because if you do not, you will find yourself compromising. So, for the sake of your health and for the sake of your spiritual well being, reverse your diseases now. Otherwise, the excuse will be I need to buy my medication. Oh, it's just one day. So what's the big deal? I worshiped yesterday. God knows in my heart I'm not worshiping on Sunday or I'm not obeying. But because they say if I don't, then I won't have access to health care. I won't be able to buy medication for my diabetes and my high blood pressure. I will worship on Sunday. When the Sunday law is passed, when the mark of the beast is passed, reverse your diseases now. And that's why we're doing what we're doing today as a ministry. And many of us exist. There's Sister Rosetta on. I'm not sure if Sister Pam is on, but you can reach out to us and we can help you to reverse these diseases. Then we talk about the thyroid hormones, which control our metabolism. There are many people out there living with hypo and hyperthyroidism. Their metabolism is not functioning the way that they should. And even diabetes is a metabolic kind of disease. Then we talk about the estrogen and the progesterone, which influence our reproductive health. Many women are having infertility. It is as well as men because the hormones are imbalanced. Then we talk about the testosterone, men, testosterone, that is testosterone, which contributes to strength, energy and vitality and stamina in the men, but they've got low testosterone levels because they're tired and stressed out. They're not sleeping enough. They're working two jobs. They're working night shift, 12-hour shift. No wonder they can't perform well. No wonder they're also infertile. So this is not just for women, but men also. Then we have melatonin, and the melatonin, it regulates our sleep. We talked about that one last week. As soon as it starts getting late in the evening, so melatonin works on a cycle. Like now in the morning, do you notice how much energy I have? Yes. Or cortisol should be high at this time. By midday, going down, it's dipping, declining. Evening, cortisol should be at its lowest, and melatonin should start producing to start setting the body for sleep. Melatonin, that is what reset. That's what helped to reset or to balance or circadian rhythm so that we can sleep or sleep cycle, right? We need to have melatonin, and the sunlight hitting the eyes as well helps to reset that circadian rhythm for sleep. Now, with all of these things that are taking place, the most important thing is balancing these hormones. So when one hormone becomes dysregulated, it often influences several others because remember, it is a communication system that is taking place. They're all communicating with each other. We looked last week at cortisol, the stress hormone. So I'm just going to just glide quickly over this one here because we talked about it in details last week, but because we're looking at them and how they relate to each other. So cortisol, again, this one impacts our stress level. If it's too high, your body goes in a constant state of just surviving and a constant state of stress. Stress contributes to many, many different diseases. But we need cortisol because it helps us to respond to challenges and provides energy whenever needed. So when a problem arises, when stress never seems to stop, this is when cortisol remains high. And there are many different factors that can contribute to that, such as financial problems, family pressures, work responsibilities, and just constant stimulation before bedtime that keeps you awake. So the devices in the bed, watching of TV in the bed, these can also keep our cortisol level high. Now, what are some of the things that can come as a result of having overload, elevated cortisol level? Belly fat. Belly fat. I have a friend and he has a big belly. And I had not seen him since high school. And then I saw him a couple of months ago. It was really a good reunion with so many different friends I came across. We all reunited from high school. So I said to him, man, what's going on in front of you? And he laughed and he said to me, in this world, it needs gut. You need gut to survive. That's a funny one. So yes, he's taking it lightly, but the belly fat, men, it's not becoming. You can do something about it. Women as well, the excess belly fat, we can do something about it and we can lose that belly fat. It's stubborn, yes, because we're getting older, we're aging, and the hormones are imbalanced. Once you've learned to balance, then you can resolve that problem. Anxiety, the smallest of things, you get jittery, anxious, and you're not relaxing. Then sleep problems, elevated blood sugar. So when you are too stressed, the body craves for sweet foods. And then you grab for the chocolate, the ice cream, the candy, the cookies, because you're stressed and that's what the body wants. When you've learned to manage the stress, you don't have to be reaching for unhealthy foods that will cause elevated blood sugar levels. And then fatigue, stress, constant elevated cortisol will result in fatigue. So many people are running on stress hormones instead of true energy. Managing stress is one of the most important hormone balancing strategies that you could ever learn. Now let us look at the insulin. We're breaking them down this morning. If you're having any of these issues, you'll know why. Where am I off track? What do I need to do? So insulin, let's look at it as you put a piece of bread in your mouth. So each time you eat carbohydrates, whether it's bread, potatoes, flour, anything that has carbs, rice, you name it, that is broken down into glucose. So your blood sugar level becomes elevated, but there's a normal state at which it should be. The insulin, I'm going to call that a vehicle because it is really like a vehicle. It is supposed to take that glucose from the bloodstream and bring it down into the cells. You could also see the insulin as a key that is unlocking a door. So the insulin is going to unlock the door of the cells, and then it allows the glucose to enter. So whichever analogy helps you, whether a transportation, like a taxi, transporting that glucose, or the key, insulin as a key unlocking the cells, the door to the cells, allowing that glucose to move from the bloodstream into the cells for energy production, for usage, or for storage for later use. The problem occurs when the blood sugar rises right throughout the day, when it is not transported from bloodstream into cells. So when you're consuming this frequent amount of sugar, when you're consuming high amount of sugar frequently or throughout the day and the refined carbs, this can force the body to produce too much insulin. So now we're forcing the body to do what it is not designed to do. Now, over time, because of this forced production of insulin, the cells just stop responding. That too much abuse. This is too much insulin at one time. This is not how the body was made to regulate itself. So the cells will just shut down and say, you know what? I can't manage this anymore. And this is when the cells become insulin resistant. I hope this is clear. And if you guys are following the explanation, let me know in the chat. I want to know that I am breaking this thing down. And if you have a high blood pressure, you'll understand what is going on. So if you are understanding me, I need to hear in the chat. I'm checking the chat right now to know that you are with me. Somebody give me a thumb up. Yes. Anybody else? Are you understanding? Are you following me? How these hormones are working, how insulin works. And if you were to be told that you're pre-diabetic or you are diabetic, you will understand what is taking place in your body. I want to make sure that it's clear this morning. There's no misunderstanding. Nobody goes away not understanding. Because when I see clients and they'll tell me that they have diabetes or they have high blood pressure, my question is, has the doctor explained to you what is diabetes? No. Him only tell me, say me have sugar or I'm diabetic. And he's giving me a medication. That is how it normally is. We are given medication to treat the symptoms, but we're not told how to reverse the condition. That's how it is out there in the conventional world. So I see someone ask me to repeat the ending part. Okay, so I'm going to repeat that again. Okay, so let me back up now. When we are eating frequently, constantly, large amounts of processed foods or foods that are high in sugars, there's too much glucose for the body to handle at that one point in time. Now, remember, the insulin is supposed to open the doors of the cell. The body has to be working overtime. Like you need that money, you got to be working overtime. So you're stressing your body. The body's working overtime to produce too much insulin to manage all of that blood sugar, all of that sugar that is in the body. And it's trying to transport all of this sugar in the bloodstream into the cells. Now the cells become overworked. And anything that you abuse will stop working. So the cells cannot handle that amount of insulin at that given point in time. It's too much. The body's made to balance everything off naturally. So over time, once you are repeating this constantly, the cells stop responding. And that is why they'll say now that the body is insulin resistant because of abusing the body. And the cells decide, okay, enough is enough. Now, when the cells become resistant, then that's when we're getting the weight gain, the cravings, the fatigue, inflammation, and eventually type 2 diabetes. So it's after this taking place repeatedly when you'll get that diagnosis. The cells are no longer responding. Are we on point? No. All right, thank you. Now, we're seeing what is taking place. So let us talk about the power of protein. Now, I want to look at how protein supports hormonal balance. Protein is one of the most effective tools for stabilizing blood sugar. You're welcome, Marlene. Unlike sugary foods, protein provides lasting energy. Protein helps reduce cravings and keep us satisfied for much longer. It also provides amino acids needed for repair, healing, and many body functions. A protein-rich breakfast can dramatically improve energy throughout the day. And this can include like your protein-rich smoothie. One of the questions I'm asked constantly, especially when I recommend a plant-based diet, then the big question, okay, somebody put in the chat for me, what question do you think I encounter whenever I talk about plant-based diet? Okay, I'm waiting for somebody to respond. Come on, engage me. I like the interaction in the chat. What's the biggest question? Sister Rosetta, maybe you want to respond as well. What's the biggest question people ask you whenever we encourage people to have a plant-based diet? Because I get this all the time being a, a consultant. People are asking me this question. Yes, Samantha, thank you so much. Where do I get my protein? Yes, yes, yes. So here I am talking about protein this morning, and we can help you to stabilize the hormones or the blood sugar levels. And no, I am also supporting a plant-based diet. So somebody's going to ask me, where do I get my protein? My question to you, yeah, I get that question so many times. Thank you, Samantha. So my question to those guys, I get that question, yes. So my question to you in the chat, where does the cow get its protein? Please respond. Where does the elephant get its protein? And are these strong animals? Where does the horse that's just galloping down the field at how many miles per hour, where does it get its protein? Okay, thank you. Okay, bush, grass, all right. Green plants, yes. Somebody said something to me the other day because they get from plants. Thank you, Nola. Thank you, Marlene. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Sharon. Thank you so much. So I was talking with someone, I think it was on Thursday, it was also transitioning to a plant-based diet. So I said, okay, well, what you're learning, share, because he asked me a lot of questions and stuff. And he said one of the questions that people ask him is about the same protein question. So and he said, when he said to them that he doesn't need to eat steak, he can eat the plants, the beans, the legumes, everything. But the person said to him that the cows, the cows eat the grass and they process that into making good protein. No, I laugh so much. So let me ask you in the chat, you want to eat something that is processed in an animal's gut? I found that one so funny that the cow processes the grass to make good protein. That is just so ridiculous. But a lot of people out there, they believe this. And that is why they have such a great concern when it comes to talking about protein. So, what are some of the proteins that you can have? Your smoothies, your nuts, your seeds, your legumes, fruits, nuts, vegetables, they all have in some level of protein, while some have of higher, some of these are higher sources of protein, such as your seeds, your grains, your legumes, beans, peas. Quinoa is rich in protein. We do not have to consume the eggs and the milk and the butter and the cheese. Cow's milk made for cows. That is why our children are getting so big and so fat and looking like cows, because we're feeding them on what is meant to nourish and to fatten the cows. They're also getting the bad bacteria as well from the animals. Human beings should not be consuming animals' bacteria. It's made to boost the immune system of the animals. So the children have colds and runny nose and allergies, and you name it. So let us educate ourselves. Include plant protein at every meal because we need it. It's just the right source of protein that is needed. Now, healthy fats and how healthy fats build our hormones. So remember that hormones are built from fats and cholesterol. And cholesterol, we need fats. When we talk about removing animal products from our diet, as well as the unhealthy fats, we're talking about animal fats and animal protein. We need fat. It's necessary. Fat is what builds a hormone. Or reproductive hormones need fats as well. So even though people have been told, or we're saying avoid fats, we're talking about the unhealthy fats, but we need healthy fats because our hormones are produced from fats. So good fats support our brain, our hormone production, our cellular function, controls inflammation, and they absorb nutrients. They help our bodies to absorb the nutrients because we've got some fat soluble nutrients. So include healthy fats in your diet, such as olive oil, avocado, nuts, seeds. These are what will help us to get the good fats that our bodies need. So we encourage after breakfast, you have a nice plant-based breakfast. You have a handful of nuts after breakfast and after lunch. This will provide the healthy fats that we need as well as to keep you fuller because they also have the protein that will help to keep us fuller for longer, which is why you do not have to snack. You can have a nice healthy breakfast in the morning and 5 hours later you have your next meal. No snacking in between. We do not snack. And growing the children the very same way, because as long as we condition their mind, we give them healthy breakfast, something that is filling, they can last as well for 4 to 5 hours. Not every 2 hours they're eating something. So I hope that we're on the same page right here. Now we're going to talk about the or thyroid and how and what it does and how it does help to balance the hormones. Okay, so our thyroid now, this is like a thermostat. If you're in Jamaica, yeah, we don't use a thermostat in Jamaica. It's just one climate right through, but you're in Canada, you need one. When it's too cold, you turn up the heat. And in the summer, you want to turn on the AC. So our thyroid, that is what it is. It's our metabolic thermostat. So it controls how quickly the cells use the energy. So when thyroid function slows, people may experience fatigue, weight gain, constipation, and depression. Sometimes you'll hear people say, oh, I've got slow metabolism because the thyroid is not functioning the way that it should. And once you've got that slow metabolism, you're gaining weight. When your thyroid is functioning the way that it should, you should maintain regular weight. You should not be experiencing fatigue. And so, persons who end up with thyroid issues, these are some of the symptoms they experience. And it happens over time until they do that test and realize, oh, I do have a thyroid problem, hyperthyroidism or hypothyroidism. The thyroid requires nutrients such as iodine, selenium, and zinc. And I do recommend, especially if you're having cruciferous vegetables, your cabbage, broccoli, cauliflower, etc., you add kelp because these cruciferous vegetables, they can affect the thyroid. They have what we call goitrine that impacts our thyroid. And so to balance that off, you should include something that contains iodine like your kelp or your dulse, seaweed. Remember, for thyroid health, we need selenium, and you can find selenium in Brazil nuts, and we also need our zinc. Stress can also negatively impact thyroid function. A healthy thyroid is critical for energy and metabolism. So if you're experiencing some of these symptoms, and you go to the doctor and you're requesting a blood test, ask them to check your thyroid as well. What are some signs of low thyroid function? So many symptoms of low thyroid functions are often mistaken for aging. Yes, oh, I'm getting into menopause, so these are expected, not true. But you will experience similar symptoms if your hormones are imbalanced and you're going through menopause, such as fatigue, weight gain, feeling cold, hair thinning, brain fog, etc. So if several of these are occurring together, it might be worthwhile to discuss with your doctor and get a check done. It could be menopause because your body is imbalanced, or it could be thyroid related. So just don't sit and assuming that it is age, while it could be something else. Estrogen and or progesterone. So these work together to maintain balance in the woman's body. So estrogen supports growth and development, while progesterone often is referred to as the calmness and relaxation hormone. Now, when the estrogen becomes too dominant or progesterone declines, symptoms may occur. And these now, when we're talking about premenopausal symptoms, perimenopausal symptoms, menopausal symptoms, mood swings, anxiety, sleep problems, headaches, you name it, irritability, weight gain, all of these things. These two hormones that are supposed to be working together are off, they're imbalanced. And as we continue, So remember, ladies, that menopause is a natural transition. It is not a disease. It's not a problem. It is a natural way of life. It's a natural transition that every woman should go through. So I know sometimes people will mockingly say, oh, she's a miserable because she's menopausal. That's not supposed to be the case. So if you're experiencing any symptoms, hot flashes, night sweats, mood swings, sleep disturbance, etc., see us to help you. There are many natural approaches that can help to provide support and comfort while you're going through this life change, which is a necessary one, which you will go through. But healthy habits, healthy lifestyle will remain foundational to all else that we're going to help you with. It is a must. Men, testosterone, they matter as well. This is not just about women. So it is important. So women also produce testosterone, but on a much lower level than men. And so for women too, yes, we need to have a balance even in our testosterone level. Some women have higher testosterone level, they grow beards, have deeper voice, their muscle structure looking like a man's because their hormones are also imbalanced between the female's hormone and the men's hormone. So for men, when you've got healthy level of testosterone, this will support your energy levels, your motivation, your muscle strength, your bone health, and healthy libido. Most men will they'd rather to die if they know that they're not functioning well down there. But if your testosterone levels are off because your hormones are imbalanced, you will have a problem. So, men, I am appealing to the men, lifestyle factors such as sleep, exercise, stress management, and nutrition all influence testosterone production. These are crucial. So, tell your men that they need to get enough sleep. Otherwise, they will age and they look 10 years older than they should. They will not be able to perform well, ladies, and you'll be the one to suffer. They're going to be irritable, angry all the time because they're stressed. And ladies, if you're making the meals, make nutritious, balanced, nourishing meal to keep their testosterone level high. And we continue. This morning, I will not be making this presentation so long. Blood sugar and hormonal balance. How does this impact us? Blood sugar instability creates a roller coaster effect, up and down, up and down. Now, I can tell you something. I remember when I used to eat cereal for breakfast, I would eat a big bowl of cereal because cereal, it doesn't really last you for long. And I would eat a big, sometimes I would go back again for more. And in no time, an hour, 2 hours after, guess what? I am so hungry because it is empty calories. And so when you eat that sugar, that much sugar from these processed cereals, you get an energy spike. Then what happens? Energy crash. Then you start feeling hungry again. You need to go back for some more. So this energy crash results in what? Craving. And then you go back again. This is exactly what happens. So whenever you'll have some donuts, you find that a few minutes after you need some more donuts. And it never stops. This is what the craving does. So when you're having that big bowl or cup or whatever of sweets, you will have the energy spike. Then it's going to crash you. You're going to have the cravings and you will repeat that habit. What will happen? Now, this cycle is going to stress your hormones and your metabolism. This is where you will experience issues that we have been discussing. This is where you can become diabetic. Thyroid functions can be affected. But a balanced meal containing your protein, your healthy fats, your healthy fiber can help to stabilize your blood pressure. Have foods that are high in fiber. I will touch on what to do and how we can balance our hormones naturally. So remember, the cruciferous vegetables support hormone balance. I will be getting into that a lot more. So the cruciferous vegetables contain natural compounds that help the body process and eliminate excessive estrogen. Ladies, listening? They also provide fiber, vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants that support overall health. So when our estrogen is not properly metabolized, it may contribute to symptoms such as PMS, mood swings, weight gain, breast tenderness, and menopausal discomfort. These are some of the results from estrogen level that is not properly balanced. So supporting healthy estrogen metabolism helps maintain hormonal balance and reduces the burden on the liver. The body is one system that is made up of multiple parts, and these parts all work together. So when one is affected, so is the other. Imbalance can impact our major organs as well, our heart, or liver, or kidneys. Pancreas produces insulin that helps with the transportation of the glucose into the bloodstream. So when the hormones are off, we can see how they will impact our bodies and the body systems on a whole, the body functions, the major organs on a whole. So some of the foods that you can enjoy would be like your broccoli, your kale, your cabbage, your Brussels sprouts, cauliflower, asparagus. Oh, that thing, it tastes like meat. I really, really like it. There are many other food items that you can include. Now, so aim to include at least one serving of cruciferous vegetables daily. Add your greens. You can use your greens. You can make your smoothies as well. And to your lunch, you can add your broccoli. To your smoothie, you can do some kale. To like soups and stews, you can add some cabbage, etc. Make your big lettuce salad. These are some of what you can do. Now, question for you. How many servings of fruits or vegetables do you have per day? How many servings of vegetables do you have per day? And is it the major portion of your plate or just a small, just a little tip on the side of the plate? You can answer in the chat. So small servings on a daily basis can help to balance your hormones. Try that. Now, fiber and the hormones. Fiber, they detoxify. You want a natural source of detoxifying your body? Fiber. It is the indigestible portion of the plant that supports digestive health and removes waste from the body. When you eat cabbage, for example, you eat carrot, for example, or broccoli, the body will digest and take what it needs. The rest is removed as waste. That fiber helps to clean the gut and to remove waste and toxins from the body. And that's what you want, which is why God has made them so coarse. And that is why we do not recommend even eating them raw either, because some of these vegetables, the cellulose, needs to be broken down. Also, to make it more digestible for the system and to make the nutrients more bioavailable for the body, they need heat application, which is steaming to break down that vegetable so our bodies can utilize the nutrients, and then the body will dispose of what it does not need. And that fiber, it pulls, it cleans along the colon walls and pull out fecal matter. So you want a natural detoxifier? Vegetables. God has made them so. That is God's pharmacy. So we need to have a healthy digestive tract, and the vegetables can help to do that. Fiber, you can include stuff like psyllium husk, some healthy sources, beans and lentils, your oats, apples, flaxseed, chia seeds. These can all help to build a bulk in the system. And then with that, be drinking a lot of water. And I'm winding down. Okay, let's talk about hydration and hormone health. Why is water necessary? Because it is essential for every cell, tissue, and organ in the body. Our bodies are made up of over 70 to 80% of water. So the hormones travel, remember, they're traveling through the bloodstream. They need water to carry that hormone. So when you're dehydrated, it interferes with the communication system. It helps to carry the hormones to that cells where we need it. It helps with our energy levels, detoxification, so many different needs for water. Oxygen in our body, we need water. So even if you're dehydrated mildly, this can contribute to fatigue, headaches, yes, poor concentration, and reduce even our physical performance. And that's why we need to be properly hydrated. We also get water from our food sources as well, or vegetables or fruits. Ways to stay hydrated, your water, herbal teas, cucumbers, watermelon, these these fruits that are high in water content. But nothing beats just regular plain water. I recommend always keep your bottle of water with you. When you're sitting at your desk, you've got a bottle of water, you're going out, you carry your water with you. How much water do you drink on a daily basis? That's a question for you. So remember, you want to help to balance your hormones, just drink water. It is important. Now, sleep. We talked about that last week, but because we're looking at how all the hormones connect and how they communicate, we cannot overemphasize sleep. This is the ultimate hormone reset. Sleep is the body's most powerful recovery and repair process. That's why we all need sleep. So during sleep, the hormones are regulated, tissues are repaired, and the brain processes information it receives throughout the day. So if you're having problems concentrating, remembering things, you're not sleeping well. If you're getting older than you believe you should, you're aging fast, you're getting wrinkled, your skin is not looking well, it's looking aged, check your sleep. So remember, poor sleep can disrupt your cortisol level, your insulin, your melatonin, and even your hunger hormones. If you're not sleeping by midnight, more than likely you will feel hungry. And then what will you be tempted to do? Eat something at midnight. And if you're eating at midnight, you're going to be gaining weight. So you see the importance of sleep and why it matters. It also, a lack of sleep can also weaken your immunity. Whenever I don't get enough rest, my immune system is compromised. And all of these will relate in increased stress level. So quality sleep will allow the body to restore its balance and function at an optimal level. Get your sleep. So there's some things that we can do to help with getting asleep, which is establish a consistent bedtime, keep the bedroom cool and dark, avoid screens before bed. We cannot overemphasize, even children have phones and tablets at bedtime. Stop it, parents. You can use some herbal teas as well, such as chamomile, lavender, valerian, hops. These are some of the herbs that you can use. And have an evening relaxation routine. Try to get between 7 to 8 hours of quality sleep each night. Have regular bedtime. Now, what is the biggest obstacle preventing you from sleeping at night? That's a question for you. And I am now winding down. I think I've got 2 more slides left. Now, my next week, because this presentation is a bit long, I'll end here for today. And the next week, we will continue with our final set of slides. Next week, we're going to be looking at what herbs can help. What supplements should you take? Now, how are chemicals impacting your hormones and what else you can do? This is what we're definitely going to be looking at. So next week, let's continue with how to support our hormones naturally. And I hope this has been informative. I hope you have learned a lot. I hope it was properly break down. And next week, it was properly broken down. And next week, we will definitely continue. Remember, you can book a consultation with me. I'm also a part of the Canadian Association of Natural Nutritional Clinical Practitioners. So you can definitely reach out to me and I'll be more than happy to work along with you. So book your consultation today. And this is where this morning's presentation ends because we're leaving time for you to ask your questions and we can definitely get into some discussions right now. So, my dear sister Sharon, I will turn over to you as you moderate this segment.
Welcome. Thank you. Thank you, Sister Angela. That was very, a lot of wonderful information again and an opportunity for you to ask your questions. I know some of you did the raw food, so you can speak about that. We do have Winston with a hand raised. Winston, do you want to go ahead and ask your question?
Hi, Winston.
Can you unmute, Winston?
Okay, until he comes, we could maybe take somebody else.
Okay, was there any other questions? We got on all the information that we've received today. Anyone who would like to ask a question? You can just signal with your hands and we'll ask you to unmute and then go ahead. I don't
Okay,
know if
so
there's
Marlene's
any.
hand is up. Marlene's hand,
Marlene,
yeah.
go ahead, Marlene.
Yes, hi. Blessings. The information you provided as always good. Thank you for that. I had put it in the chat, but are you hearing me? Okay.
Yes,
Yes,
we hear
yes,
you.
yes, yes, yes.
Yes, I put it in the chat, but I just needed a bit more clarification. My friend's daughter, she has beard all over her face, and I know you said to lower testo something, but I don't quite know what to tell her to do, even though you said that.
Okay, and that's a full question. Was she diagnosed with PCOS?
You know something, I never asked my friend because I don't know. Maybe she was, but I don't know. I never
That's
asked.
okay. Yeah, that is one of the main factors or the common causes of women with beard, polycystic ovary syndrome, PCOS for short. We find a lot of women out there, and that is the diagnosis. Of course, the hormonal imbalance as well, where there's an elevated androgen in her system, such as the testosterone, because the androgen, it's a part of the male's hormone system that helps them to grow like the beard and voice and etc. But when a woman's testosterone is too high, then it will result in stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask her that question. So
So
if she was, there's basically nothing to be done.
oh, well, yeah, we didn't say that. Oh, yeah, we definitely help women with the PCOS for sure. I've worked with women with PCOS. So, yeah,
Okay. All right. So I'll talk to her and see
yeah,
where
yeah,
she goes, and if anything, we'll contact you.
yes. And we're not diagnosing her on this program, but we're just giving
Oh, we
some,
know, we know,
yes, exactly
we
what
know that,
could
we know
be
that.
some factors. All right. Yes.
Yeah.
So,
Thank
and
you.
there could be other causes as well, but would be better to maybe talk with her on an individual basis to get more information from her, to hear other
Okay.
symptoms first to maybe see what might be going on in her body.
All right, thank you.
All right. Any questions? Anything else? Comments, question? And thank you for engaging in the chat. I see you guys are responding. Okay. Blue G35.
Yes, there's Blue. Go
Thank
ahead, Blue. You can unmute. No.
Hello. Go ahead. We're hearing you. Okay, so we're not hearing that person. Anyone else? Any questions? Any comments? Okay, put in the chat what is one takeaway that you have learned from today's presentation that you will be taking with you. One takeaway. And for those who participated in the raw food challenge, thank you, Brother Tatum. And for those who participated in the raw food challenge, would you just like to unmute yourself and just give us an update? Just share your experience in a few minutes, maybe 1 to 2 minutes. We want to hear because we need to encourage others to participate as well. And yes, we are live on YouTube. I'm going to drop the link in the chat. So we are live. Yes, we were definitely over there. Okay, so I'm going to drop the link in the chat so that the person was asking, copy, and please go ahead and just subscribe, help us grow our channel. I'm going to put it in the chat. All right, so there it is. Great information. Okay. Yes, anybody wants to share who did the challenge? So we're not dragging this thing out longer. I'd like to hear somebody share who did the challenge. Have to encourage somebody else. Sister Sharon, I'll turn over to you as we can end for today. I don't see any more questions. It was quite clear. Let me see in the chat. Okay. Okay, yes, so you've got the YouTube right there.
Yes, we're on YouTube. Lovely. So we want to thank you for today. Now, this is part one. There's so much more to learn. So you need to be here next week, same time, 10 o'clock for those in Canada, in the USA, 3 o'clock if you're in Europe or in England. And in between, just check your time zone and join us on time for the second part of this amazing program. Sister Angela, thank you so much for persisting and for getting us to know so much. Let's just have a word of prayer. Dear Father in heaven, we want to thank you for Sister Angela. Thank you for her patience. Thank you for her ability. Thank you for her tenacity and everything in between, allowing us to learn more about our situations and our hormones and how we should balance it so that we can be healthier. And Lord, help us to be able to share this information with others, to join us next Sunday so that we can learn together. We ask that you bless us as it's a new week. Let your will be done in our lives, we pray in Jesus' name. Amen. I want to thank you. Please do join us on the YouTube channel or our WhatsApp channels. We've got so much more to share. Thank you so much. Thank you, Sister Angela.